In the area of agriculture, we haven't done very well. But I do recall that we had an interesting experience where production of basic crops, food crops, was always cobweb theory. It was always fluctuating. This year you have boom, and then we don't know what to do with the produce, the structures and systems of adding value to them, storing them, releasing them when we really need them, and so on and so forth. And so post-harvest losses of these crops then emerge. But there was then the need to get the executive to issue an executive instrument that established in Ghana what we call the National Food Buffer Stock. Now, this National Food Buffer Stock was supposed to deliver some twin objectives. One of them is to be able to buy these excess food from the farm gate that is produced, and then have a warehouse capacity to store them. And they buy them at minimum guaranteed prices where the farmer doesn't lose. Store them, and then the idea is to release them as and when food shortages are occurring in different parts of the country. The evidence is clear. Even now we are experiencing it again. And so there's a huge call, which I am galvanizing support for, that there's a need for us to legislate the activity of the National Food Buffer Stock, for example, so that governments can be committed to spending specific quantum of budget to this company to be able to execute this critical job. After all, they even store some of the food for national security. You know what is happening around our neighbors in West Africa. So anything can happen, and you can run out of food. So what happens? But if you have such a strategic stock of food, then you cannot go hungry. So this becomes so imperative. And I've been lobbying some of my colleagues from both sides of the house, and there's a buy-in. So I'm trying to sponsor a private members bill to be able to legislate this. How do you build enough momentum, enough evidence, enough partnership to be able to push this for government's adoption? I also have some human rights passion. I'm part of a team that is sponsoring a private members bill on criminalizing the accusation of witchcraft. The concept of witchcraft may be a cultural thing, but we are trying to criminalize the accusation of it. So you can have witchcraft in your culture, but we say you cannot accuse me of witchcraft and then molest me in the process, judge that I'm a witch, and then make judgment to me, knowing that we need to build evidence. That took us to some of the witches' camps up north. We visited the people, we sent the media there as partners, we built a case. There's so much public acceptance that no, this has to be criminalized. And so there's a buy-in. Now the bill has been gazetted, going to be taken through the processes of passing it as into law, and then we can get the President of Ghana to assent to it. For us as Parliament, we have done a lot to ensure that that ground is fertile for democracy and its tenets to be respected. For example, we passed the Right to Information Act, bill into an act. Media, individuals, institutions can write to government institutions and request information to be given.